Welcome back to the Workbench, where uncut and unedited, you can watch me, just a guy, try to make things. And we are continuing to make the Accurate Miniatures McLaren M8B Can-Am model kit. We've almost got it done. In fact, we are at the final stages, putting on decals. I went ahead in between episodes and started placing a lot of the decals because that can be actually very boring to watch. So this might be a little bit shorter of a video today, because what I think I'm going to do actually in between episodes is finish decaling this. Nobody likes to watch decals go on, but there are two things that we need to do, or at least talk about today. One, I did the decals on the front clip here, and I didn't realize the decals didn't actually cover these vents. You can see it kind of goes around the vents. I guess we were supposed to paint that black like we did the back. You know, the back here and well, like we did the front of the nose. This front of the nose here, we painted black. I guess we were supposed to paint the vents black. I didn't really think about it. Obviously, with that much shape to them, there's no way you're going to get decals in there. And I didn't, just didn't really think about it. Nor did I actually read. And I'm probably somewhere in here it said to do that, just to be honest. But what I'm wondering what we could do is I'm wondering if, because this is going to get cleared, I wonder if I can just hand brush that black. Because another thing I wanted to show you was, like I had mentioned before, this shape was so tough that when I decal fixed it and whatnot, it ripped just like I thought it would. I don't know if you guys can see. It ripped right there on the edge. So I think what I'm going to do is, in these spots where the decal is ripped and there's a little bit of color showing through, in fact, on this side it did the same thing, and also back here where it had ripped. I'm just going to take some black paint, try to touch those up. In fact, what do I have? I don't know if I want to use, I don't know if I have any gloss black. Might be the only problem. What is this here? No, it's flat black. I think we could probably just do it with the semi-gloss, because we're going to clear it anyways. So what I think I'm going to do, let me try painting. Let's do this together. Let me try painting one of these vents. I can do the rest of the painting in between episodes. I just want to see kind of how, the other option is I could just leave it, but to me it looks kind of funny. It's kind of funny looking. So I don't want to just leave it. And obviously I don't want to go back and try to spray it black. Because these decals are so fragile. These ones on the sides here, they just all started cracking once they started drying. They're just so brittle. Like I said, it cracked here and it's actually showing a little color through. So I think we're gonna have to color touch that. But yeah, I think so. Let's just go ahead. I'm gonna try to very carefully paint one of these, just hand brush one of these vents here. And let's see kind of what it turns out. Like I said, we're gonna end up clear coating it anyways. This is a semi-gloss that I'm using. I just want to see. I think it'll look fine. Like I've mentioned yesterday and before, it's not like we're not trying to win awards with this thing, right? That ship sailed a long time ago. But I do want it to look like as best as it can. I'm going to paint over because even where so this was two separate decals, by the way. This decal and then the decal on the other side, and they come together, and I can kind of feel obviously when the decals dry, they always kind of pull away from each other. So I can fill those gaps with just a little bit of black paint. I don't think this will be a problem. I know the U-Pol or however you say the paint, and the Tamiya paints don't seem to have an issue with each other. I've painted over top I've painted both on top of each other, and neither have, I'm painting on top of it right now, and neither have caused an issue as far as not playing well together. So I don't feel I'm not too worried about that being an issue. I just don't want, I hate brush strokes in body paint. I think it's going to be okay. Again, it's a race car. I've had good comments, and thank you for the comments, by the way. I hope good, bad, or indifference. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're constructive. criticism or good criticism or just hey, how you doing comments. But so thanks for the comments. I've had some good ones about, you know, it's just a race car. They're not show car paint jobs, essentially, is the gist of the comments. And that's very true. And so I don't mind if there's a little bit of something, because, you know, out at the track or whatever, you need to, you can go, they'll go out there with a hand brush, or I think the comment that was left also, they just would use gaffer's tape or whatever to get their kind of graphic decals back, you know. So I don't mind too much. Actually, and this doesn't look bad. I might, let me go ahead and paint this other one while we're at it. Let's see. And then I got to actually catch the edge just a little bit here. Am I even in frame? Can you guys see what I'm doing? Okay. I got to always remind myself, I don't want to hit the white pinstripes. So this has white pinstripes around it. Try very, very carefully to not paint those, obviously. And only the part that's supposed to be black. And it's hard. I'm having to hold this up in frame so you guys can see, and it's a little bit hard for me to see, but that's okay. I'd rather you guys be able to see what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm going to have to hit that edge right there. I'm going to have to bring that over to me to do that. So you can see we got a little body color between where I'm painting the vents and then where the decal starts. And I'd like to fill that in. I'd like to fill that in black, quite honestly. But I don't want to do that fine detail with it kind of extended out past my eyesight a little bit here. This is going to look just fine. Of course, let me know what you think down in the comments. I wish obviously, if I ever did this model again, or if I had just read, you know, I don't read, you know, who does, right? We don't read anymore. I'm sure in the instructions it mentioned needing to paint these prior to putting on the decals. Let me see if I can get this very carefully, get this edge here. Oh boy. How do you paint with an unsteady hand? There we go. That's my next how-to video. When you have exceptionally unsteady hands, how do you how do you do fine detail? And basically the answer is you don't. Okay, I think that actually looks pretty good. And you know what? Let me see. Let me see if I can see what this is going to look like. If I just kind of touch. I want to use as little paint as possible. Yeah. There we go. Like nothing ever happened. It's our secret. Yeah, okay. All right, nice. I'm kind of happy about that. There's some little spots I want to touch. I'll use my finer detail brush to do that, and I'll do it. I don't want y'all to sit here and watch me paint all day, because there's one other thing I want to get done before we go, and that was, if you remember right, this 54 crosses between panels from the tub up to the door, so we need to take care of that. And this is actually what I'm a little more nervous about, because these decals are very fragile. Let me move everything out of the way, especially the stuff I just painted. Let me move it out of the way here. And then let me very carefully bring the chassis and tub and whatnot back over. I put both doors are on. Let me see if I can very carefully. You can see there's the decals crossing from the tub up to the door. And I haven't done, there's a bunch of decals that need to go on the tub here. I haven't done any of those yet because I want to get this done. Now, my fear, so I need to slice that because the door needs to come off, right? Because the doors aren't going to actually be mounted. I want to see all this work we did underneath here with the different lines and whatnot. So I've got to slice this very carefully, and I'm very I'm a little scared of this. I'm a little nervous because these are so fragile. I'm really scared that they might just, I want to clean, we need a clean cut, and I'm scared they're going to crack apart on me. Now, I put in a brand new X-Acto blade. So this is brand new, never used on anything. I think what I'll do is I'll lift it like so, and I'm going to try to use the tub itself. So I'm going to cut across the tub. My hand's so shaky. I mean, there's nothing to it but to do it, I guess. So what I think I'll do, I'll just kind of go with the tip. Did I get it? Oh, yes. Okay. Nice. Okay. Nice, clean cut. Perfect. I feel that, okay. But here's the bad part. I got to do it again. All right. So here we go. One more time. This door actually moved a little crooked on me, but that's okay. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to leave it. Let's lift it up again. Again, I'm going to use the tub itself to rest the tip of the blade on. Okay, I think that was good. Okay. All right, now I actually feel much better. Okay, so now we just have, that, let me pull it down, that half of the 54 on there. So now I can finish putting these decals on, which I'll do in between episodes. I think we'll probably just leave that as is. I don't think, I'm not going to try to clear that or anything, I don't guess. I hate leaving. It's kind of the same thing with the rear, whatever you call it, fin or whatever. What is this called? Foil. Why can I not think of what you call the wing, the rear wing? It just has this bare decal on it, which always worries me. I like to kind of protect them with something. So maybe I'll try to spray something on there. I don't know. I'll think about that. Let me know if you have a technique. Obviously, I'd want to use kind of a satin or something. I don't want to use gloss. But let me go ahead and move this chassis out of the way before something happens to it. And then we can take a closer look at the doors, which now, did they get pretty? Yeah, they're pretty close. This one had a little gap. I probably can just roll it under like so. Or maybe I can, maybe I can get it to pull up. It's going to be a little bit less of the number 54. I wanted to get them, wanted them to be a little bit more even on there, but it's just probably the way the doors were sitting. I don't know. Can we get that to move at this point? If I can get it to slide up a little bit, it's probably way too late. I can try to soak this again to see if I can just get that back in to slide up, because I'd like to have, I don't want it to roll under so much. When I say roll under, I mean like that. I'd like more of the 5 to show on the door. Let me see if I can just kind of soak it. I'll let that sit. Either way, it's fine. I'm not that worried about it. I'm just glad it didn't break into 100 pieces. But anyway, so I think that's about what we've got today. It's gonna be a short one because what I've got to do, like I said, I could sit here and decal this for you guys, but nobody wants to watch that. I'll get all the rest of the decals on now, I think, so that we can get them very dried up and cured and whatnot, so that I can tonight, I want to put our clear, I want to spray it with our clear, the bodywork with our clear, and then tomorrow, all we should have to do, we've got rear view mirrors to put on, we've got these guys to put on, whatever, these little front foil doohickeys that run down the fenders, which all that's going to be, it's going to be a blast because we got to get them glued on. I've also got to paint that flat black. We've got a windshield, and then there's also side glass that goes on the doors themselves here. And I've got to paint the dash flat black. We'll do all that tomorrow. I think that's all we're going to have. I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and paint we'll paint the flat black tomorrow, because that could be kind of fun. It's always fun to paint final painted bodywork, right? So we'll do that together. We'll get to enjoy that process together. I'll finish, like I said, I'll finish decaling this. I think I'm going to get this to be able to move. If I keep working at this, it's looking like it's kind of coming loose for me. which would be nice. And again, obviously it won't match up with the tub anymore, but it doesn't matter because they're never actually going on the tub. They're going to be mounted off. I'd rather the doors match than necessarily the door to the tub match, if that makes sense. And if I can get this to just slide up just a little bit, they'll actually start to match. But I'll keep working at that. I'll get this thing decaled up between episodes, and then I'll go ahead. Oh yeah, look, it's moving. Yep, there we go. All right, perfect. Wonderful. So let's get that while we're together. We can get it to kind of match up. Yeah, I think that's more the match to that. In fact, if I just scoot it just a hair, I'm looking at this back corner. I'm using this back corner. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Yeah, I'm using this back corner here in the relation to the lightning bolt as kind of my guide. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that's better. I like that. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to let that sit and not touch it. Thank you for joining me today. Hey, let me know what you think down in the comments. I think we're just going to have one more episode, quite honestly. I think I'm going to have to get the rearview mirrors painted up. I got a lot to do in between episodes, just so we can get this, I think, finished. Like, I'll do the decaling. Let's get it finished. I'm ready to move on to a new project. I've actually really enjoyed this one. Let me know if you've enjoyed this one, if you've enjoyed watching along. Hey, let me know down in the comments if you watch all the way to the end and you watch these videos when they come out. I'm thinking about setting these as premieres at some point. If enough people show up, these episodes come out every day at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. Let me know if you're here at 4 o'clock every day, because then I'll set it as a premiere and we can watch them together. That's what I love more than anything in the world, is watching myself on camera. No, I don't. But I will if that's something that y'all would like. Let me know down in the comment section. Hit that like button. Hey, subscribe if you want to keep up with these, and ring the bell and do all that stuff. Do all those things you normally do on YouTube. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.